Ah, shit. Welcome to another episode of Comment Foolery Exposed. And today we are going to be talking about the unambiguous black divestors thirsting over Zaddy, Luigi Mangione. Some of the women are also thirsting over Daniel Penny. I think that's his name. That's the guy who unalived a black guy and he became rich afterwards, and people are saying that he was a hero because he was protecting people on the subway by unaliving a homeless man. So the reason I want to talk about this is because this aligns with my talking points that a lot of these black women who talk about divesting and swirling, they're not swirling to Jeff Bezos. They're not swirling and divesting with Elon Musk. A lot of these women are getting thugs and criminals and pookies and ray-rays with white skin. Okay, so I've noticed that a lot of black women have a limerance over non-black men in general because they idolize the life of a white person. And so in Luigi's case, because he comes from a wealthy family, that's enough to idolize him. They're idolizing his appearance. And I've talked about the psychology of these types of women. The types of men that they actually get with, their behavior and personality traits are actually very similar to black men. By the way, there are rumors that Luigi is allegedly a part of the LGBT community. They're saying that he is allegedly bi and that he prefers men. So that aligns with what a lot of black women attract as well, which is these DL black men. So they're attracting the same type of man or idolizing the same type of man. The only difference is that he has white skin and he comes from a background that has more money. That's it. But let's take a look at one of these video titles by Lexus Exodus. This girl says, Zaddy, Luigi Mangione, and Daniel Penny saved the day. Dusty should take notes. And then she's got images of them as superheroes. So she's got like a Superman on one side. So trying to describe them as heroes. So I told you guys that a lot of these divestors, they're actually ghetto ratchet women and they still idolize the thug life. They still idolize that type of behavior where it's like you're using violence to solve a problem. Now, I'm not saying that the guy who got unalived, the United Healthcare CEO, I'm not saying that like I support him or anything because, sometimes things happen, but I don't think that violence solves major economic problems. Anytime you have people reacting like this to where they're unaliving CEOs and you've kind of got these people rebelling against the rich, all that means is that you're really living in an oligarchy. It means that there's a really huge gap between rich and poor. People's claims are still getting denied to this day. So him unaliving the CEO, he didn't make United Healthcare go out of business. He didn't cause people to suddenly get medical coverage because he unalived someone. But for a lot of unambiguous women who come from these backgrounds where they think it's cool to unalive people, they're celebrating this because, that's just their type, right? So on the surface, they try to pretend like they're these classy black women who just want to be around these upper echelon luxury spaces. But no, they're lusting after people who unalive others when they get mad. Because let's talk about this. When it comes to people's political beliefs and stuff like that, there are so many people with different beliefs. So if you're with someone who he has a different belief and then he decides to go and unalive them and then maybe he gets acquitted or something like that, I just find it very interesting that if it were a black man that would have done the same behavior, even if he would have came from the same millionaire background, they would have still called him a pookie. They would have said that he's throwing away his future. Because look at Luigi, anytime you get into legal trouble, you are still risking your entire future. You're risking going to jail. So do you really want someone that has this personality type where they take high risks? Because a lot of people with that personality type, that's actually very common in bipolar disorder. A lot of people, they have that mindset of being a high sensation seeker. So, maybe they get pleasure out of somebody else's pain. So that's a sadistic type of personality. So you can actually see through this divestment content that these black women, they're actually still attracted to the same personality traits. They're attracted to sadistic men. They're attracted to men who have kind of this thug streak within them where, they'll whip out their weapon and unalive someone. Or so they talk all this shit about how exoticals get with dusties or about how like black men are pookies and ray-rays, yet they're going for a white-collar, white male man who clearly shows pookie behaviors. just because someone is articulate, and I think that's another thing too that shows that these women are very monocultural. They think that because someone is articulate or because someone comes from a wealthy background, that they are automatically intelligent and that they're automatically strategic and good at everything they do. And that's not the case. This is how you know that a lot of these Black divestors, they've never actually been around multicultural environments, because all they see is white skin, and they see other people kind of celebrating Luigi or kind of like not being sad about the healthcare CEO being unalived. And so now they're hopping on the bandwagon and thirsting over him. But let's look at some of these comments. This girl says, aside from the prison thing, Luigi is literally the perfect man. Like, romance novel perfect. He's rich, handsome, well-educated, personable, well-spoken, strong moral compass, and a man of action. He literally walked off the pages of a Mills and Boons novel. First of all, not only do I not know what a Mills and Boons novel is, because I do not allow myself to engage in limerence, but this person, she's actually admitting that she reads a lot of these romance novels. A lot of women who are femcells, they like to engage in escapism. So you know how a lot of men who are incels, they'll be like porn addicts? It's because they're an incel, right? They don't have those sexual experiences in real life, so they live vicariously through the people in porn movies. A lot of women have this same psychological behavior where they will live vicariously through lots of romance novels, lots of divestment content, lots of dating strategy content. Meanwhile, their real life does not reflect anything that they're reading about at all. So it's really just a form of escapism. It's an emotional coping mechanism. And a lot of these women are obese. A lot of these women come from broken homes. They come from these underprivileged backgrounds, these impoverished backgrounds. That's why they're so knowledgeable about Pookies and Ray Rays and Dusties. Well, it's because their families are filled with them. You know, all the men that they've been around have been Pookies and Ray Rays and Dusties. All of their exes are Pookies and Dusties, their uncles, their brothers, the men they went to school with. And so the one thing that gives them a sense of hope is engaging in this escapism. Okay, so they like to do this by fantasizing about what it would be like to be a part of the white community. They want to fantasize about what it would be like to date this Italian man. Luigi, based on his name, it sounds like an Italian name. So deep down inside, a lot of these women, they fantasize about assimilating into these non-black cultures because they place non-blackness on a pedestal. That's why they come over to the exotical space and say that we are regular, because to them, anything that has proximity to blackness is regular, it's average, it's basic. And so the more white or the more non-black a person is, the higher of a pedestal they will put them on. So this woman is completely brushing over the whole prison thing. So aside from the whole criminal thing, aside from the whole prison thing, he's the perfect man. Do you think they'd be saying that same thing if Luigi were black? Do you think they'd be using that same rhetoric? I don't think so. If anything, they would say that he is not strategic or that he's ruining his own future. But what they think is they think that white skin cancels out consequences. You know, they think that because Luigi is white, or, you know, they're hoping that Luigi's white privilege or his financial privilege will completely cancel out any consequences for him unaliving this guy. And even if Luigi does get acquitted, let's say that he does not spend one day in jail, let's say that he gets completely acquitted, he still has to deal with a lack of privacy. He has to spend the rest of his life dealing with people thinking he's crazy, or people psychoanalyzing him, people stalking him. He has to deal with the fact that him unaliving this guy, you know, people's claims are still getting denied. So he didn't overturn the entire healthcare system with one gunshot. So even if he did not go to jail, his personal life and his family's lives are still being affected. I'm sure he's probably been doxxed by now. His family has probably been doxxed. I've seen all kinds of people posting images of him when he was younger, like his college roommates are coming out talking about him. So I'm sure there are people who are actually betraying Luigi right now and trying to expose and dox him because he's basically a trending topic in the media. So even if Luigi doesn't face legal consequences, he will still spend the rest of his life facing social consequences. But notice how these black women in the divestment space, they don't care about that because they think that his white privilege or his financial privilege will hopefully cancel all of those things out. And unfortunately, that's not how life works. But you can tell that these women are monocultural because they're literally saying, aside from the prison thing, he is the perfect man. By the way, not to mention the fact that they have never met this man in their lives. All they know is what's on the media. All they know is his photos. All they know is what people are saying on YouTube. So do you see how that's limerence? Thinking that someone is perfect, first of all, perfection doesn't exist, but thinking that someone is perfect based on social media, that is the definition of limerence. That's the definition of being a femcel. And this is exactly what I mean when I say that attractive people get treated like celebrities. They're placing him on a celebrity pedestal. They're saying, oh my God, he's perfect. They know nothing about him. They've never met him in their lives. This man literally has done something that the average human being wouldn't do, which is to, walk up to someone that you disagree with and unalive them and then smile afterwards. Most people would consider that behavior to be maybe mentally ill or bipolar, but they don't care. This is her perfect man. Let's look at the next comment. This girl says, Luigi should just play innocent and claim the crimes were committed by his evil twin, Luigi. Nerd humor. People are laughing. So I notice in this profile picture, there's a picture of an obese black woman. So I don't know if that's her or if that's just an image that she's using, but that's very interesting that they're just making jokes like, oh, he should say that it was committed by his evil twin. So they're totally brushing over the fact that this man literally has a criminal history at this point, and that he literally shows signs of someone who is potentially manic or potentially mentally ill, or he could potentially be a part of a conspiracy. I know that that's another fringe thing that they're talking about on YouTube as well. But they don't care because this is their dream guy. He's tall, he's a thug, and he's white. Oh yeah, that's their dream guy. This is exactly why I told you guys, a lot of divestors, what they're attracting is Dusties, Pookies, Ray Rays, thugs, or incels from other communities. And by the way, the black wife effect, that trend that was on TikTok, it was basically just black women turning their incel, non-black husbands into looking like acceptable human beings. They were spending their time and money giving their men haircuts, makeovers, taking them to the barbershop, or styling them in African-American style clothing to make them look more like some sort of biracial man or something like that. So that's a whole other video that I could do. But this person says, agree. I hope he doesn't spend too long in jail. He was written by a woman. I just know they're writing fan fictions on him. Someone says he's going to receive so much fan mail in jail. So now they're fantasizing about the fan mail he's going to receive. They're fantasizing about what it would be like to have proximity to him. They're like, oh, I hope he doesn't spend too long in jail. So they're basically giving like free Luigi vibes. Free Luigi. You know how they hold up signs? They'll be like, free Pookie or free Ray Ray. Okay, now they're saying free Luigi. So this tells me that they've never even changed their mindset. They have that same Blackistan type of mindset where it's like, oh, I don't care if he goes to jail. Hopefully he gets out soon. I'll be waiting for him when he gets out, or I wonder how much fan mail he's going to get. This person says because a black man would never stand on business like Luigi did to the white man. So now not only is she saying that it's totally okay to just completely unalive people, but she's saying that he stood on business. So now, Luigi, you are keeping it 100. You're keeping it real. You know how I talked about how in Blackistan they have this obsession with keeping it real? So she's basically saying, oh, he's a real one. He's a real ninja. He's keeping it real. He stood on business. I like that. He stands on business. He whipped out that pistol. So again, this shows you that they never left that mindset of being attracted to violent men. I mean, the bottom line is whether Luigi was right or wrong, he still participates in violence. So that means that you like a violent man. You like a man that's violent. This person says, I have to respect Luigi for doing something about insurance CEO greed. Someone says he didn't change a thing about insurance claims being denied. Exactly. I mean, I'm not sad that the CEO is gone. I will say that. But at the same time, I also don't think that Luigi completely solved the whole problem. And, now everybody's going to get healthcare coverage. And, now all this wealth is going to be distributed to people who can't afford to get their surgeries. No. All he did was just unalive someone. The CEO is going to be replaced. They're going to hire a new CEO. They're going to still run their business. United Healthcare is still in business. They didn't get shut down. But this person is saying she respects him for doing something about it. He stood on business. He whipped out that pistol. So do you see that hood mentality still kicking in there? These are the kinds of non-black men they're attracted to. So like I said, they're attracted to the same qualities, just with a different skin tone. This person says a massive W for Italians. This is the best thing they've done since lasagna. So saying this is a win. He's making Italians look good. And then this woman says Italian men are fine AF. So by the way, if you have Italian admixture as an exotical, guess what? You're fine AF because you got a woman right here admitting that she thinks Italian features are fine AF. So this also points to the fact that they like our men. You know, they like the biracial men, mixed men, exotical men. Remember how they lusted after that one jailbird guy, Prison Bay? So they like the mixed race men or white men, whatever. But when it comes to the women, obviously they would see you as competition. And so that's why they don't like you. And that's why they try to pretend that you're regular. Because behind closed doors, they actually think that those features, those Italian features or those non-black features or proximity to non-blackness, they think that that's attractive. This person says, Luigi, number one, if you play Mario games, you get this. So she's putting him on such a high pedestal, he's number one now. So unaliving someone, that makes you number one because you proved that you're hood. You know how a lot of black women from the hood kind of have this mindset of if he can whip out his pistol or if he can beat somebody up or if he does something violent, that's sexy to me. You know, it's like they're fetishizing violence. They like violence. This person says, I hope I get picked to be on the jury. He's not guilty, Your Honor. Someone else says, I never wanted to do jury duty so bad. Free my boy. So they're saying that now suddenly they care about their civil duties. Now suddenly they care about jury duty, not because they actually care about society as a whole, obviously, but because they are so male-centered and they're so white male-centered that they want to help this man and have access to him, even if I could just sit in the jury. So how low does your self-esteem have to be to the point where it's like, oh, I don't even have to date him. I don't have to get wined and dined by him. I don't care that he unalived someone. I don't care that he could potentially go to jail. I just want to be on the jury so that I can be his slave and his mule legally so that I can help him to access freedom. You know, the same people that they make fun of light-skinned women about, you know how they say, oh, your grandma got raped by a white man. Yeah, now you've got women begging to be a mule to give freedom to a descendant of those same white men. The same white men that they accused of raping you and making you light-skinned, you know, that's why you're light-skinned is because your grandmother got raped. Yeah, now they want to make sure that these descendants of these supposed rapists, that they don't get any jail time. She's going to take off work so she can be on jury duty, so she can help him. This person says the fact that the suspect was out and about for nearly a week shows that the public was not really trying to help the police. Had he taken his food to go, he might have avoided capture for a while longer. I don't know why he didn't head to Canada, so now they're giving him tips on how to be a better criminal. So, Luigi, next time, you don't want to sit in the restaurant and eat your food. You just want to take your food to go and then flee the country. So now they're giving him tips on how to be a better criminal. And I'm supposed to believe that these are classy, unambiguous black women who are just so high level. They're just so filled with class and they only like to be in luxurious spaces. And now they're in comment sections giving tips on how he can be a better criminal so that he can escape next time he wants to unalive someone. So now they're making it easier for him to be a serial unaliver. Instead of just unaliving one person, you know, they're hoping like, hey, if you want to do it again, Luigi, this is how you do it better. That's black girl magic right there. This person says Daniel and Luigi are white knights in shining armor, and I absolutely love watching Dwight at the end, dancing his smooth vanilla chai ass off. So now they're fetishizing, saying that he's smooth vanilla chai. You know, he's got a vanilla chai ass. But meanwhile, if you happen to be a different complexion, if you call yourself caramel, butterscotch, or any food names, the same group of women will say, oh, that's fetishizing. I don't want to compare my skin tone to food. You shouldn't compare your skin to food. You're making your skin tone your whole personality. But then they're saying about this guy, they love watching him dance with his smooth vanilla chai ass. So is that not making his skin tone his personality or the reason why you're attracted to him? So you're doing the same thing that you accuse black men of doing, which is pedestalizing people based on their skin tones. This person says, I'm not an advocate of violence, but I am an advocate of karma in whatever form it comes. I'm very curious to see how this plays out in the legal arena. I am definitely putting a few dollars on his books, though. So now the hypergamy conversation has gone out the window. I told you guys a lot of divestors are actually not hypergamous. They're 50-50 women who happen to be 50-50 with a non-black man instead of a black man. And you see it right here in her comment. She says she's going to put a few dollars on his books. If that's not femcel behavior, you know how they call men simps? Like the men who pay for OnlyFans and stuff. Luigi doesn't even have to have an OnlyFans. He's just existing. His existence is the OnlyFans for women like this. These divestment videos and the swirling videos and all these dating strategy videos, how to get a white man's attention, all of that, That is the OnlyFans. So she's saying she's going to put a few dollars on his books. Okay, so that's where her bill money is going. Her extra money, instead of saving it and investing it for her, or if she has children, oh no, all that's out the window. She wants to put a few dollars on Luigi's books. So this proves my point that a lot of these women, they're not being provided for by these non-black men, because you've got women volunteering for jury duty. You've got women saying they're going to give him money so he gets to live his soft, feminine, hypergamous dream. This person says his 3 little well-placed bullets have lit and opened up the conversation healthcare advocates have been trying to ignite in this nation for years. Thank you, Luigi. Free Luigi. So they're saying that his well-placed bullets opened up a conversation that we've been needing to have. So according to this person, it's okay to use bullets to open up a conversation. That's hot to her. So do you see the cultural proximity to blackness these women still have? So they still like thug culture. They think that's cool. They think it's cute then. This is proof that they still are into that same type of culture. They're into the same type of rhetoric, the same type of behavior. Oh, you don't want to have a discussion? Let's play some bullets. That'll open up the conversation. Here this person goes again. She says this is going to be entertaining to watch because in the past, the excuse for saving white unalivers was reflecting on their past and how we should not ruin the future of these young men. The excuses used to protect them in the past can be applied here because of his trauma and his volunteer experiences with the elderly. So basically, the fact that he has volunteered with older people and the fact that he has PTSD, that excuses his behavior. So do you see how they have no problem acknowledging when a non-black person has PTSD or trauma and that causes these bad behaviors, that causes these violent behaviors? They have no problem excusing that when it's a white man. This person says Luigi is attractive. Another woman says, I donated to Penny's defense. Luigi should be prosecuted to fullest. So Penny, that's the white guy who unalived this black man because he was being violent on the subway. So she's saying she donated to his legal fees. So again, the same ride or die behavior that you see them having in the dusty communities. Yeah, they're doing the same behavior, but for white men. And by the way, these are white men that they don't even know. So Luigi, he's not going to take these women on dates. He doesn't even know who these women are. But they're saying they're going to put money on his books. They're going to volunteer for jury duty. So it's the same ride or die muling type of behavior. It's not even 50-50. It's hypogamy at this point. This person says, okay, no, I can't rock with the Daniel Penny part. He unalived that black man and became a millionaire. That doesn't sit right with me, and it shouldn't sit right with you. Yeah, so that's what happened. The guy, he unalived someone, and then he became a millionaire. And now they want to make Luigi, who's already from a millionaire family, they want to make him even more of a millionaire. So she can forget all these black women. They're not even prioritizing their own wealth and millions. No. They want to be the ride or die chicks for a stranger on the internet. What do you ladies think? Let me know in the comment section, and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.